Guess what time it is?
It's time to kick gum and chew ass. and I'm all out of ass. Fucking dick kick him.
No, that's kind of cool, but not what I
structures
want.
engineer here at SpaceX. I'll be your host for today's Starlink mission, which marks SpaceX's 50th launch of the year and 249th overall mission to date.
Falcon 9 tanks are pressurizing.
On your screen is a live view of our Falcon 9 rocket at Space Launch Complex 40 in Florida. At T-minus 4 minutes and 45 seconds, the range is green and ready to support. The summer weather forecast for launch was looking a little tricky tonight, but the weather has cleared up, so we're tracking a 90% chance of over launch. Apart from that, the teams are currently tracking no issues with the vehicle or spacecraft.
Average SpaceX.
Now, at this point in the countdown, we should see the strong back clamp arms that are just below the payload fairing, opening up in a couple seconds.
Run some ads. All right. Ads in your pants? What do you got, ads in your pants? Ads, please. All right, we run ads so nobody gets pre-rolls during the launch. Okie dokie? Cool. We got a Starlink mission.
Those clamp arms.
I want to see a rocket launch. I've been sitting here for 10 hours straight.
Fully, you'll see the strong back recline away from the rocket, and once F9 takes off from the pad, it'll pull away from the rocket even more. So the strong back, also referred to as the TE or transporter erector, is that large structure that you see next to Falcon 9 and what we use to route electrical connections and propellants to the vehicle.
All right, strong back's moving
Coming
back
up
into
next
the
at
89
T-minus
degree
3
position.
minutes, we
Clamp
should hear that
arms are
Stage 1
retracted.
has completed liquid oxygen loading.
Panta. Shut up, bitch! How many launches has this booster done? Give me 1 second, I can get that information. Yep, I'm getting it through the feed now. This is
Stage 1 launch load is complete.
15th flight for 1062.
So at T-minus 3 minutes, the Falcon 9
Pogo.
first stage
Pogo.
is fully loaded with RP1 and LOX, and we're awaiting completion of LOX load on the second stage in about 50 seconds from now.
Sir, that was uncalled. You're doing the opposite of what I asked.
Those white clouds around the vehicle are actually vented chilled gas from above the LOX tank liquid surface that we vent overboard to maintain pressure in the tank as needed. It's totally normal, and when it's being vented and comes into contact with the humid Florida air, it makes that white cloud that you're seeing.
So what they're venting right there is gaseous oxygen. Those two little side vents that are on the side of Falcon 9 are the ullage tank vents on the second stage liquid oxygen tank. This smoke that's kind of coming off the body of the rocket, it's not actually smoke, that's condensation as well. Because because they're carrying the oxygen with them, it's easier to carry it in liquid form than it is a big gas tank, right? And they're liquid fuel rocket engines, they need liquids. So in order to store oxygen as a liquid, it has to be really, really freaking cold, minus 293 Fahrenheit, right? Basically, that will cool the actual skin of the rocket, and Florida down there, it's a little bit humid, I don't know if you know. Because the rocket skin is so cold, it's actually freezing the vapor out of the air and causing condensation on the outside of the rocket. That's different from the vent lines that you see right there. Now that one right there is a TE purge out. That's all the remaining gaseous oxygen that's inside of the second stage fuel lines here. The fuel lines go up the side of the transporter erector. Ooh, a little windy out on the drone ship. They go all the way up the transporter erector here and into the second stage. You want to vent the liquid oxygen out of there because oxygen makes stuff explode very, very easily. The only thing they want exploding is down here and at the bottom of the rocket, and they want it to stay there. You don't want to light the pad on fire. So they purge out all the remaining liquid oxygen with nitrogen, and that oxygen, upon hitting the atmosphere, immediately turns to vapor. And that's called GOX, or gaseous oxygen.
On the final go for launch.
It's pretty white, Earl. Maybe it's not on a dog.
LD, go for launch.
Launch director reports
The
go.
launch director has
40
given
seconds.
the final go to proceed for launch, so let's sit back and watch as Falcon 9 takes our 22 Starlink satellites into space.
How many Starlinks has there been? I lost count.
30 seconds.
T-minus 30 seconds. All right, so around T-minus 10 seconds, you're going to see the sound suppressors turn on. Sound suppressors spray down the water with spray down the pad with water. Sorry, it's getting late. They spray down the pad with water to make sure that the
15
acoustic
seconds.
vibrations of the rocket don't reverb off the ground and damage the vehicle in the way
T-minus
up.
10, 9,
Also,
8,
cool things
7,
down.
6,
There's the sound
5,
suppressor.
4, 3,
Green
2,
flash.
1. Engine full power. And liftoff of Starlink.
All right.
Go Falcon.
Flying
go
tonight. That's the
Starlink.
payout for the long stream, baby. Fly, baby, fly. Yeah, buddy.
Is nominal.
Lighting up the sky.
At T plus 30 seconds, F9 has successfully lifted
Stand
off
by
from
for the
Slick
call for
40
power
at
and
Cape
telemetry.
Canaveral, Florida at 12:01 a.m. Eastern
Netto.
Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stress as it
Nominal
ascends
power
through the
and
Earth's
telemetry.
There it
atmosphere.
is. Next call would be maximum dynamic pressure. It's peak aerodynamic load on the vehicle. Basically, Falcon 9 gets to the point where it's still flying down in the atmosphere, where you can't move the air out of the way fast enough. So it throttles back the engines and waits till it gets a little bit
Just
higher
heard
up.
that
And then they
Falcon 9
throttle
is
the engines back
supersonic,
up.
which means it is now traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Nice, man.
Max Q.
There's the call for max Q.
There you just heard that call from max
Little-
Q, which again is when
Got
the
some
rocket
mid-level
experiences
clouds
the
there.
largest amount of
Tracking
external
cameras
stress.
Getting lost.
We're now about 1 minute away from a series of key back-to-back events. There's MECO, or main engine cutoff, stage separation,
Looks good.
SES-1, or second engine start 1, and then fairing separation.
So, as the rocket gets higher, the ambient pressure goes down. The closer the thing gets to the vacuum, and you get these really awesome plume effects coming out of the vehicle because the gases that are coming out can expand a little bit more because the pressure is dropping. It gives you this really awesome plume effect.
We have separate and fall away from the second stage. So let's keep an eye out for those events, as they're going to happen pretty quickly back-to-back.
Okay, MECO should be around 2 minutes 30 seconds. Main engine cutoff is what it's called. Stand by. Should hear the call in the next 5 seconds. Engine cutoff.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation.
Stage separation confirmed.
Okay. SES-1, second stage engine start.
MVAC ignition.
Turbine machinery is good. Green flash. We are good to go.
So as you
Stiffen
just
wing
saw and
separated.
heard over the nets, we had successful
Perfect.
MECO, stage
Textbook.
separation, and SES-1. We're coming up on fairing separation from the second stage in just a few seconds.
I'm actually not sure which way this one is flying, Hibbit.
You can see two of the grid fins on the left-hand side of your
Yeah,
screen.
no
Those are
stubby. They heard
deploying
me,
on
no
stage
but.
1.
I think southeast, judging by the lights.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Ooh,
Both
lightning.
of the fairing
Did you
halves
see
that
it?
supported today's mission are flying for the
Some
second
heat
time,
lightning.
and we'll be attempting to recover both fairing halves
Yeah,
using
this
our
is
recovery
southeast,
vessel,
guys.
Bob.
Bob. We'll pack the Bab. So, the first stage did... Are we looking at a tracking shot of the second stage? From the Cape. That thing's a long way away. Wow. We got a clear... Oh, there it goes. It went behind a cloud.
So we'll have intermittent
That's a
views of
long-
stage 1, but we do have a great view of
What
stage
kind of camera
2.
are you using?
So currently the first stage is on its
It's
way
like
back
90
to
miles
Earth
away.
towards our
They
drone
still
ship,
got
the
it.
Short Fall of Gravitas. And that MVAC engine that's attached to the second stage
Falcon
is
Heavy's tomorrow,
continuing its
Roscoe.
burn, which will last another few minutes.
So you saw the stage 1 plume actually interacting with the first stage there and lighting up the grid fins, which is actually cool. That's a hell of a track, man. It's 130. It's more than 135 kilometers away. That's the altitude. So the camera's over here, rocket's over here. It's 135 this way. If you wanna
Acquisition of signal.
figure out the hypotenuse there. That it's a long way. Really nice, really nice
Trajectory.
cameras on Falcon as of late. Look at that shot. It's Very nice.
Designed and manufactured by SpaceX, Starlink is the world's largest satellite
It's a
internet
long way,
constellation.
95, yeah.
Starlink satellites operate in low Earth orbit, or LEO, which enables the delivery of high-speed, low-latency internet to people
Never
living in
heard
remote and rural
Fire
locations
Fistus.
around the globe. Starlink is currently live in 62 countries and 78 markets around the world.
Don't lick it. Don't lick it, guys. Not good. Any updates on the Falcon Heavy reattempt? Crash tomorrow, about 24 hours from now. Do the grid fins slow down? Phase 1? The grid fins are not
As I mentioned
brakes.
earlier, today's
They're
Starlink mission marks
control
SpaceX's
surfaces.
50th mission just this year and
Differences.
249th mission overall.
That's
Coming
like
up next in the mission is the entry burn on the first stage.
So think about it like this. Grid fins are hypersonic control surfaces. It's a control surface. It's not an air brake, right? So that's like getting the brake pedal and a steering wheel confused in a car. So that's important to understand. A hypersonic control surface kind of looks like an air brake, but it has to cut the air in a really certain way that it ends up kind of looking like one, but it's not. They're a control surface. We do have some plasma accumulation on the
Stage
bottom
1
of the
entry
stage.
burn startup.
This is the best
Stage
part
1
right here.
FTS is safe.
So
There's that call out for stage 1
you
entry.
started to see some re-entry heat down at the bottom. What SpaceX does, they fire the engines right when it's going through, right when the first stage is going through re-entry. Not only does it slow that stage down, but it pushes the re-entry plasma away. The exhaust from the Merlin engines is actually the heat shield. That's the heat shield. Also, lightning. They fire the rocket engine so the plasma doesn't cook the rocket. You can actually see some accumulating on the grid fins right there. Re-entry heating. There it is. What's happening here is that air, the way the grid fin is cutting the air, you're getting compression in between the vanes on the grid fin, and that the resulting compression of air, because the air gets cut and compressed inside of those squares so ridiculously fast, it actually ionizes. Basically, the grid fins are ripping air apart. That they're ripping air into pieces. And that resulting force is actually splitting the molecule, and that makes plasma. Makes a lot of heat.
To increase speed.
The grid fins are made out of titanium, so they can straight up resist it. Yeah, really good
Stage
stuff.
1 transonic.
Stage 1 is transonic.
There's that call that the first stage is
He
transonic,
didn't
which
say
means it's
supersonic retro
traveling near
propulsion.
the speed of sound. Coming up in a few seconds will be the landing burn on stage 1 before it touches down on our drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas.
Should get a call for the landing burn here. 5 seconds. Hello?
Stage 1 landing burn.
Okay.
Expected loss of signal, Cape J6 and PPF.
Okay, first stage landing motor is fired. Looking for the drone ship. Flying through the clouds. That's low. Those are low clouds. There she is. Landing
Stage 1
legs.
landing leg deploy.
And stick it. $15 flights
one
for that
landing.
booster, baby. That was a little rough. That was a
This
little
Falcon
bit of a
9
rough
first
landing.
stage has
She's
now
rocking
successfully
around a little
launched
bit,
and
but that's
landed
good.
for its 15th
Perfect.
time. Now we're coming up on second engine
15
cutoff
landings,
in a
dude.
couple of seconds.
There's the vent down, taking the tanks
And back shutdown.
out of flight pressure. We have a call for second stage engine cutoff. Stand by for the call for nominal orbit insertion.
And there you just heard, we had SECO 1, and now we are waiting for confirmation of good orbit.
The NOI call indicates good telemetry. Pembo, I opened up that package the other day. I made a run to the P.O. box. That was very surprising. Thank you.
Nominal orbit insertion.
There's the call for NOI.
There's that call out we were waiting for, confirmation of
Expected
good
loss of
orbit.
signal, Bermuda.
LOS
Today's
13
landing
radar.
marks our 210th overall landing of an orbital class rocket, including Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions, and with confirmation of successful first stage landing and second entry.
Okay, they're gonna sign out. Corretto, the first stage is automatic. The entire thing, most rockets flying basically since the Apollo program have a flight computer on board. Basically, you just run the program and send it. So, but the first stage doesn't know exactly where the drone ship is every time. I mean, the thing can move around in the water. So, SpaceX actually has a downward-facing radar on Falcon 9, and after Falcon 9 does that landing burn, the radar turns on, and the drone ship's actually painted with radar reflective material. Not absorbent, reflective. So it basically is looking for it. It's looking for the reflection. And that's how the first stage finds the drone ship. Pretty cool, right? And from there, once it gets a good signal on the drone ship, it's just the computer can just land the thing. It's an amazing bit of software, to be honest with you. That's really damn impressive. Considering that they make it look easy, it's just, alright. Yeah. How come they really don't show when they deploy the Starlinks that they just, that they're done. They don't need to. I think, I mean, heck, dude, every single SpaceX cast used to have like a live commentary, like, you know, in Hawthorne with like pictures and audio and all this stuff. Now it's just audio commentary. It used to be video. It's just audio now. I think it's because they literally launch too much. Because they're small and you can't see them anyway. Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna stop yawning in front of you guys because that's gonna make you guys yawn. Sounds like a good reason to go audio. Well, hey guys, capping the night off with a nice launch, and guess what? We get to do it all again tomorrow. How about duh? Not bad, because tomorrow we got Falcon Heavy. Oh my god, Falcon. Can we watch the landing? I thought I saw slight rotation. Blackness, it moved around a little bit. She moved around. Wind on that drone ship. It's a little windy out there. Derail tomorrow? I was thinking Kerbal. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep tonight, Kyron, because I haven't slept very much this week. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep and yeah, go from there. We're gonna play KSP tomorrow, and I'm gonna work on the Star Raker. Rockwell's Star Raker concept from the late 70s. It's basically if you took an SR-71, a C-5 Galaxy, and the Space Shuttle and made them all into one thing. Yeah, somebody actually thought of that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the launch coverage. Let's see who we can raid. Dude, I mean, Etal's playing Satisfactory. You know, if you were still with me from playing Satisfactory, let's go see what Italix is up to. I actually really enjoy watching his stream. He's a freaking good streamer. Alright, Glitch, have a good night. Thanks for staying with me for the entire night, guys. I appreciate it. Keeping me company during my shifts. Let's see what Etal's up to. Let's bring up that raid. Go over there and type launch raid. We raided him with scrubbed raid. Now we need launch raid. Rocket launch raid. Apple bottom raid. Don't you dare. Oh dear. Alright. Hey, this was a fun one, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll jump into Kerbal. And yeah, we'll go from there. It's Friday night, some Kerbals, Falcon Heavy. What do you say we go on a date? Maybe some Kerbal, maybe some Falcon Heavy. See where it takes us. Chat, I would like to extend to you an invitation to the Kerbal party. The Kerbal pants? Party with pants? You don't want to go? Very well. Mods, would you like to come to the Kerbal party in my pants? All right, let's go. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.